This week, we're talking about where we've been, the world, games, and a special leg. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Hello, and welcome to the Pickle Pop podcast, or P3 if you just want to keep it formal. I'm Jake, and with me I got Aaron,
Hello.
I got Adrian,
Hey.
and I got Tanner with me.
Hi.
Great, off to a great start. So, yeah, I'm just gonna open up the floor and say, how's everyone's week been?
Well-
Aaron, how's your week been?
I've had a pretty good week, if I'm being completely honest. Just been working. Been playing a lot of Minecraft on that Java edition. Really excited about that, and can't complain.
Nice.
All right,
Well,
yeah.
I get.
Yeah, go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Okay. I odd. I mean, it feels like there was like a weird pace to it. Like it was fast in some areas and then like super slow. But I slept a lot.
You slept?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. That's about. Yeah.
All right.
Playing some games.
Tanner, what have you been up to?
I wish I slept a lot. I've been having trouble sleeping.
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't
Why?
know why.
Do
I
you
don't know.
do you take, Do you take melatonin?
Melatonin?
Melatonin, yeah.
Even melatonin? I took one night and then I couldn't sleep like the whole night. Like it just made it worse, and I don't know why. So I haven't taken any melatonin since that day, but hopefully I'll just get really tired and eventually sleep,
Maybe you're an insomniac.
I know my dad has some kind of like mild insomnia, but
Maybe you have
I don't
major.
know if that's hereditary.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Huh.
the super stuff.
Is
Super can't
insomnia
sleep.
hereditary? Like,
Is
is it passed
insomnia
down?
hereditary? Yes, it is. Large study confirms that insomnia is hereditary.
Oh no, dude, do I have
Oh,
insomnia?
dude.
Damn.
Rest in
Rest
peace.
in peace.
That's fucked up, dude. All right.
I need marijuana
Well, I
for
guess
my
Oh.
insomnia.
Medical.
I guess he actually won't be resting in peace. So.
Oh yeah. Live in peace, I guess. So, this is obviously our first podcast and everything. Pickle Pop Podcast. What do you think of the name, guys? P3?
P3.
P cubed?
P3?
P cubed?
You
I don't
know.
know.
I think it's a little too close to like H3. You know.
Oh,
Or E3.
P3.
E3.
E3.
I mean, I got to be honest. I'm having second thoughts. I know that I took a vote and voted for Pickle Pop Podcast, but I think Pickle Talk is.
Pickle.
I think
I
it's
mean, I think either's fine.
Yeah,
I'm with Adrian.
either is fine. Pickle Talk. I just feel like with Pickle Talk, it's just like we're talking about pickles. I think the whole thing about Pickle Pop Studios is the name. It's not a
It's
bad
bling.
name. It's where it's I mean it has its own origin, right? But just like I don't even like pickles. That's the thing. Who here actually likes pickle pops?
I like pickle pops.
Alex likes Pickle Pops.
I don't hate them. They're just, it's frozen pickle juice. I mean, it's,
Yeah, like actual vinegar essentially.
yeah.
You like salt and vinegar chips though, right?
No,
Oh, you don't?
no.
Do any of you guys like salt and vinegar chips?
I like them.
They're fine. Not my first choice.
Okay.
They require it's like a item that you find in like a game. Like it requires 12 strength to eat this item.
Yeah, it's like a Dark Souls
You
weapon.
you gotta like power through
It's
it.
very strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this is our first podcast, and it's actually like our first content in a long time. Our last video was on April 25th, 2020. That was about 2 months ago. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that. We did we did kind of like drop the ball, or I guess not really drop the ball, but we didn't know what we were getting into. I think is what.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't help that a pandemic happened, so that's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like whatchamacallit. What's that thing? It kind of like severed our opportunities to like kind of meet up as
It like
often as we would like to do things in person. That's why we're doing this whole podcast on Discord, because in my personal opinion, this would be awesome if we were in like a same room type setting for this
Mhm.
podcast. But
Oh yeah.
hey, we're working with what we can.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the word you're looking for, Aaron, is cucked. Like you really cucked us. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did get yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's that one guy in one of our videos that was like, what does the PPS do? And it just really struck me because uh like I think it's safe to say that like the original and of course this wouldn't cover all the content we were planning to do, of course, but I think the biggest thing we were really excited for is to like film stuff, like do short films and whatnot. Um, and then yeah, we don't really have the opportunity to do that. And I think that's where I'd say we were unprepared with, especially like equipment wise, having to sort that out for if we're going to be since we're going to be doing more, online
Huh.
stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of like having everyone to be a one man show for the time being. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's kind of
And we've been
awkward.
doing that with streaming and stuff, but I do have a confession to make.
All right, go ahead.
Oh,
I gotta be honest. Like, don't get me wrong. I was excited for it, but short films were probably the things that I was like least excited for.
you're fired.
Oh
Oh my
my
god.
god.
Oh my god. CEO of Pickle Pup Studios just fires second in command. Goodbye, Big Bear.
No, I'm
Uh,
staying.
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, it is something, and like Aaron said, we did start streaming. Uh, me, Tanner, have been probably the most prominent. Adrian, you streamed the other day, didn't you?
I did.
That was great. I really enjoyed it. Um, so I mean, moving forward, what are some plans for the PPS? I guess.
Definitely being a little bit more prominent about taking initiative. I mean, granted, like in some situations, there's only so much we can do, but I mean, we could have done this a while back if we just hopped on Discord a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Like when Jacob told us to.
Yeah, like when Jacob told us to, because
That I
quite frankly, this is the best thing ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love Discord.
It's very versatile. Tanner, what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on what are your thoughts on
All the sound
Discord?
effects too.
On the what?
On Discord.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. It's
How much?
I really
Better.
like how we have like organized every chat into specific categories, so we only need to come to this one place. Like it's all organized, it's all separated, like we had on multiple different apps, but now it's and neat.
Yeah. Like I
And we're
remember
able to. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say before we were on the Discord, like we were creating like several different group chats, all like on like Tanner said, like on multiple
Yeah.
apps, and it's just like, well, this is nice, but I mean, I'd like to be in one. Like I think Discord is like a really good area for like just
Yeah.
having a collection of different thoughts and group discussions,
Yeah, it's
Information.
really
information. Yeah.
yeah, I really like at first I don't know why I was so stubborn about it, like getting on Discord, but like it's kind of like it helps get you in that mindset where like you're here and it's work. It's like, okay, this is our projects and stuff. I mean, sure we have like a meme chat, but like even then it's still like separated and really like that.
Yeah, honestly, you man, don't even feel bad for being stubborn about it. This is like my 5th time making a Discord because like what would happen is a friend of mine would be like, "Hey man, check Discord out. It's pretty fucking cool." And I'm like, "Okay." So I do it and we'd use it once and then that was it. So then I delete it and then same process and then
Oh
but
my
this time
god.
it's for real though because now I'm actually on a couple of servers, got the the Minecraft server and then the PPS server, and it's all coming together. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like yesterday was actually a really good example for me, at least, because it was like um we had our meeting, we had our PPS meeting for the PPS on Discord, right? But before that, I was streaming with Ash, and we were in a Discord call, and afterwards I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to my meeting real quick, and I just hopped out of a private voice chat into the channel, the server voice chat, and I thought that was really cool, and I was like, wow, I could just I don't have to exit out of Skype or whatever, you know what I mean, and like start up another call.
Oh my gosh, who uses Skype anymore?
Yeah.
I
Everyone
still
remembers
have it. I
Skype?
should delete that. Yeah.
still have
Don't
mine
even
as
know.
well.
Yeah. I remember, Tanner, when the Xbox One first came out and party chats weren't working, we all had to use Skype on our Xbox. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we went to Skype because like their parties weren't working and we couldn't communicate on Xbox, so we held Skype on.
Yeah. And it was just really really weird. I don't know if anyone remembers 2013 when the Xbox One first came out, but it was not as fluid as it is
7
now.
years ago.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Jeez. Oh my
Are
goodness.
we old?
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
pretty
know.
old.
I don't know.
I'm old.
I'm still pretty young in my opinion.
Oh yeah, you're gonna turn 20 this month
I'm
in
turning
13 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy
But
birthday!
thank you. I think
Merry Christmas, bro.
we're probably gonna have another podcast between now and then.
Yes.
But
I
so yeah,
mean,
we'll get into that
man.
later.
Oh my god, yeah. There's another thing that we should get into later, but I feel so bad for all the people who have had birthdays during this time.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was just thinking, like, man, I'm gonna be so mad if my birthday falls under this horrible time. And I was like, no, there's no way, right? And as time's going on, it's just getting worse and worse. And I'm like, dang, we're gonna have a whole year and a half worth of people's birthdays in this horrible time to
just
have
do
a
anything.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just sucks, because we're gonna be turning 21, and that's the big one. And sorry, I'm getting off topic here, but
Yeah.
We went
it's
quite off
really
track.
yeah, it's disheartening,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, dude.
So going back to plans for PPS. I know we kind of got off topic there for a little bit, but
I got off topic now.
but yeah, does I know Adrian and Aaron, you guys have been working on something. I don't know if you want to talk about it in depth or what you want to do.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'd like to touch base on that.
Yeah, I mean we've kind of mentioned this before. Like the only reason we don't get too into it is because we definitely want to keep I wouldn't say it has to be this grand surprise. I'm not trying to keep it that under wraps. It's just we know that there's just so much work in it. Well, I guess I should say what it is. Working on some comics. Really long time in the making here. Way long time ago that it was conceptualized. And so we just recently started doing the first issue, which I'll reveal the name here. It's called Cup of Joe. It's a very, very vintage classic comic that I kind of breathed some new life into. And we're just really trying to work out the timeline because there's a lot of cool, exciting events within the story that we want to make sure we do right. We want to make sure we really plan this out rather than really scurrying around for ideas every single week or so.
We don't want to do it as we as we go along. There's a lot of
Yeah.
moving parts in this story.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm excited.
and of
You
course,
should be.
yeah,
I am. I'm very excited.
I am too. We'll Aaron and I will just sit down and we just kind of just talk to each other and come up with some really cool stuff, and I think will be really fun. The biggest obstacle for now, I think, is definitely the art, because Aaron is definitely a what do you call it, like protege or something? I don't know.
Amateur artist.
Yeah, yeah. But he's making you're making really good work, man. Like I just want to be like straight with you. Like that's my honest. Like I think even as a beginner, you're making good progress.
Oh,
But of course, especially on my end too, there's a lot I need to learn. 'Cause a lot of stuff I've been neglecting in terms of skill and the fundamentals of art, like perspective and all that. Um, like I, I'm not saying this is going to be like an all-star like crazy level art in the comics, but I definitely want to be to a place where I'm happy. And when I see it, I'm like, okay, I like this. Not like, oh, I wish this could have been better, this and this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much that on there. And there's some other comics we want to do, but it's definitely like way down the line. Um,
And so just
but
like to give a general like not synopsis but general like preview, would you say that it's more like it follows us like the entirety of PPS, like it's before, during, and after sort of like thing, or?
yeah, uh huh,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Um, you mentioned that it's been like a long term project. Just like how long have you had this idea in your head of wanting to do PPS comics?
Yikes. Well, Jacob, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if I ever gave it to you. I don't know if I let you read it. It was probably back in middle school. Uh, I wrote down the first. I think they were like maybe two or three comics. They were very short. It's actually funny. The like the last the original Cup of Joe comic, the last panel, it was a note to you saying that I'm going to create a comic series for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and when I read that again, I was like, oh my god, like I got to stick to it. But yeah, dude, it's been years. Um, I
Yeah.
would just kind of look at it, and then it was when we were starting to like talk about PPS again. And I started doing those art pieces, and I thought of the comic again. I was like, hey, well, I have like this whole like new art style for this thing, so why not? Let's do it. Um,
It's like
yeah,
remastered.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's dope. Um, so for like basically PPS, hopefully we've given you guys a little bit of a preview and hopefully an apology on why it's taken so long for us to get anything out. Mostly just like the pandemic, the kind of content that we wanted to produce, mostly just was all like uh, in person, and due to that, we can't really, you know, d- do that. um, but yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully, like I said, we've been streaming. Tanner and I, Aaron, Adrian,
Twitch.tv/hella spaced out.
Tanini official, the Eternal Monolith, Yzma Lee, and then even Willie, Biggie Pino.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I mean, like, just kind of circling back to what you said about how we're owning up to us not posting and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that this makes it any better, but I was talking to one of our viewers yesterday actually for some viewer submissions, which we'll get to later. But I was just chatting with him, and he said, "Hey, man, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Take as much time as you'll need, because yeah, coronavirus is obviously taking a toll on some of the things that we can and can't do. And I don't know, it made me feel a little bit better. But we, at the same time, we want to make sure that we're getting stuff out to you guys, because
Hmm.
if anybody needs it at a certain time, it's now. Now's the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's one of the reasons why we've sort of been like dragging our feet. Kind of, it's just trying to like work our way towards getting into like the proper equipment. If any, like if we
For
wanted
sure.
to, we could have recorded this on our phones, right? But
Yeah.
you
It's a
know,
lot to
yeah,
figure out.
yeah,
and
it's
we will use this setup for other videos and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Of course.
uh Also, be on the lookout for, maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but be on the lookout for a new show called Paninis with Tanini.
Oh,
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 Tanny,
yeah,
you want to talk about
yeah.
that?
paninis with Tanini. You know, I've been in the kitchen with all this free time. I've been mixing stuff up. You know, testing my culinary skills, and you know, I might
Panini.
viewers on me with that journey. You know,
Huh.
just record it and see what you guys think. So maybe turn it into a series.
A
Yeah.
panini is a hot sandwich, right?
Oh yeah, it's a
I
hot
feel
sandwich.
okay. Yeah, I feel like if
Uh,
anybody can make a hot sandwich in the group, I feel like that's you.
I,
oh well, thank you.
Like
That I
I
really do appreciate
you
that.
you could honestly like I could see you owning like a sandwich shop.
yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
Tanini Paninis.
I am blushing right
Panini's
now.
paninis.
Man, he's
I,
gonna break off from PPS, man. Like, don't give
Dude, don't you dare monopolize our business.
him.
I'll have
No
a
way.
pickle pop panini.
Ew.
That's the worst
All right.
possible combination of anything.
I was gonna
Wow.
say, Tanner, do you want to get into the origin behind your nickname Tanini?
Uh, it was originally a group chat where I was in a rough spot. I think I had just broken my leg. So
Ooh.
I was immobilized, and some friends of mine, including Mr. Hella Spaced Out here, thought it was a good idea to call a group chat Tanini Hotline in order to get me the emotional and social support I needed during that time. And honestly, it really stuck. And I've the name Tanini, and I've adopted it as my identity.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea. I did not. I always wondered where Hotline came from. Like what that was about.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's just to make sure I'm doing okay, you know, there with a leg broken. So
So
Tanini
people would just
Hotline.
call you? They would just call the Tanini hotline
It
and be
was
like,
mostly
"Hey, man."
texting.
Yeah, it was like group
Oh,
chat.
oh, it was a kick, wasn't it?
No, it was actually just on iMessages.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
huh.
They're just like Tanner. Don't give up.
You
Just
Yeah,
fly,
it was
you
like
walk
this.
someday.
Your leg will heal.
yeah, just to uplift my spirits and make sure I was doing okay. So I really appreciated that.
Has anybody else here broken a bone? Because I've never broken a bone.
No, I
I've
Kind of
haven't.
never
wonder.
broken a bone.
Really, Tanner, how does it
Mhm.
feel? Like, how does that? Like, what's the sensation like?
Oh, well, not good. Not very good at all. I didn't
Uh,
really I didn't really feel it because, you know, I broke it when I was playing football. There
yeah.
was so much adrenaline going through me. I really just like reached down, felt that my leg wasn't correctly like normal, and I really just started screaming. I started screaming and I laid
Wow.
down and I tried to look at it, but people were pushing me, like telling me don't look at it, you're gonna pass out. Um and so I never really got to see it in its worst state. But then, like, I got
Oh.
to the hospital and they had to move it around for some X-rays. It was all a very memorable experience.
Oh.
Um,
How long ago was that?
Freshman year of high school.
Oh
I
man.
don't
Jeez.
know
Dang, man.
what year.
So like you know, like whenever you tell your parents like, "Hey, mom, dad, I want to do football," and they tell you, "No, there are kids out there that get injured playing high school football." They're talking about you.
Yeah, they're talking about me. I set the example for those kids that are injured playing football.
Oh, you know, it's actually funny about the leg. I was gonna say whenever my dad broke his leg playing, whenever me and him used to play hockey, he said something very similar. He said, "I didn't notice that it was broken until I looked at it." And I hear that I hear actually that most people don't even react until they look at it.
Yeah.
Like they don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a story about passing out. Well, I have several stories about passing out, but um, I was gonna say I did some blood work. I think this was like junior year of high school. I did some blood work done, and so they were drawing my blood, and they told me to fast, which basically is like don't eat for 12 hours or whatever. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll fast. I'll come back in the morning. I'll draw blood. I'll go get some breakfast, whatever, and then I'll go to school. Um, And so they strap me up. They start extracting my blood, and I'm not really squeamish around blood. I've had so many bumps and bruises growing up. I have scraped my entire chest and stomach, just falling off of a roof or whatever. So like I'm not like squeamish
And you
basically.
had some skateboard
Yeah, I've had some
too.
pretty
Like
bad
I remember you had
skateboard
some pretty bad
accidents.
ones.
Yeah, I have scars that have stories, right? Um, and so the doctor who was treating me or drawing my blood, she was talking to me and she was like, hey, like blah blah blah. Um, and she, I just happened to look to my right, and there's like at least 7 vials of my own blood in like a little like test tube rack. And I remember thinking, that's my blood. That was inside of me. And I immediately start getting woozy and lightheaded. All while this doctor's like trying to like, have a conversation with me, like light chit chat. And I'm like sort of like I go into like this 1,000 yard stare.
Oh.
And I the last thing I remember is like she's like, what do you like? And I was like, I like space. And then she was like, oh, have you seen that movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock? And I remember passing out and then just feeling really hot. And the funny thing is, I'm not the first one to pass out apparently, because she had like a little fan, like a little desk fan that she just like started blowing on me. And my mom was there with me at the time, and she's like, uh, the doctor told her, she was like, yeah, he passed out. And
Oh.
and I remember feeling like really hot, and I was like, wow, this fan's really nice. And so that's it's not breaking a leg, but hey, it's passing out. I've lost a lot of blood.
Oh.
Jeez.
Um, and then there's just like the casual like iron deficiency sort of thing where you stand up too fast and you pass out. Thankfully, that hasn't happened in recent times. I've been eating very, very well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Yeah, I've been drinking nothing but water. I love water.
That's good. Very good.
Yeah.
Tanner,
Water is
Yeah.
like an addiction.
I love water.
how did you break your leg? Like, what happened?
Uh,
Did someone like tackle it?
yeah. Well, I was offense, so that's the people who have the ball and they try to make the touchdown. And then it turns out we didn't have enough people for defense, and I was a large fellow, so they were like, "Hey, why don't you play defense this time?" And my first time playing defense, I just wanted to go get the guy with the ball because that's all I knew how to do, or that's all like that was my objective. And so
Mm.
the ball is hiked, and the next thing I know, I'm in a dog pile. There's one guy underneath me, and he's propping up my leg. Everyone else is on top of that leg.
Oh.
And eventually it hit the weight limit, and then the snap happened. I reach down, and I see that the bone is right up against the skin. Like, and the other bone is like on the other side of the leg. And like I had to get out of the dog pile and I had to pull the leg out with me because I couldn't
Jesus.
move
Oh,
it. Yeah. And it swung not forward, but like
oh,
sideways.
oh! I'm cringing, man. Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So and that's when I felt it swing sideways and I was like, I gotta look at that. That's not right. And then they held me back. They said, don't look at it. And then I was on a stretcher, ambulance, x-rays, all that.
Jesus. Well,
Man.
that brings us to our next topic: Xbox Series X and the PS5.
Yeah, that was that makes sense.
I'm sorry for your loss of your leg for your entire freshman year, Tanner.
Rest
But
He's
in peace,
fine.
man.
No, he's
Yeah,
fine.
he's
I'm
fine.
walking now.
He's walking at least.
Smoking here.
So the Xbox Series X and the PS5. This is news we've missed. Basically between April 25th and now. What are you guys' thoughts on the Xbox Series X having more information about it and the PS5 being revealed?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I noticed on both consoles that some of them don't have a disk drive, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, like some of them, I guess it's gonna be strictly digital. Is
Hmm.
that the case?
Yeah. I
The
mean,
the PS5 has two versions. One's digital.
yeah. And realistically, that's just the way to go. I mean, I've been a fan of digital copies for the longest time. Um, the last digital or the last physical copy that I bought was Monster Hunter, and that was just because it was on sale at GameStop. But other than
Yeah.
that, I just have all my games are digital. Even when I bought the Switch, I don't have any physical things for it. I just have just digital. Um, so
It's safer that way because the discs can get messed up.
hmm and it's all like stored in the cloud or whatever, right? So
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like assigned to your account.
yeah. Um, Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I gotta be honest, I'm actually not too educated on the next gen consoles. All I know is there's a lot of memes about them.
Yeah.
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 There's let's see, we got the obviously the fucking whoops, I'm sorry. Obviously the Xbox looks like a fridge,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like if you put the Xbox X in the center of a room and then you put like a glass disc, boom, coffee table.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I'm not really sure like what their capabilities are, except that like
Have you seen the controllers for them?
I've seen the one for the PS5. Yeah.
What do you think about the way the controller looks?
Um,
Looks goofy.
I think we're honestly taking a step backwards. Not
Okay.
like
Really?
not like in a bad way. Like I'm talking about as far as looks. Like I remember whenever Xbox, like the original Xbox, not the 360, and the PS2 were out, I remember seeing a bunch of like custom looking controllers that you could like plug in to the ports, and there you go, you had an awesome controller. And the PS5 controller looks a lot like one of those. Like it wasn't a PlayStation controller. It was like a third party, and I'm just like, it doesn't even look like y'all's original stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, things got to evolve, but
What I really
yeah.
like about it is that they sort of made it fatter, and that was my biggest complaint with the PS3 and the PS4
Sticky.
controllers. Is that I the Xbox controllers have always from the start been designed ergonomically, and so I just got used to that. And
Oh,
so with the PlayStation controllers, it was like very skinny. Like I felt like I couldn't like my fingers are way too long for that kind of controller. So that's why I appreciate a bigger controller.
right. Huh.
Um,
Yeah.
the touchpad I've never had any. I don't have a PlayStation, but the touchpad I think was an interesting design. I think it's fun, but I don't know exactly how it fares into games.
Do you like the rounded D-pad they have on the Xbox Series X controller?
No,
Or is that the Pro controller I'm
I
thinking
think
of
I
where
think there's two
it's like
where
a
it's like the pro and then the regular one. I think actually
oh,
I
okay.
don't even know. I mean I could be talking out of nowhere, but yeah, I think the circle one it's good for like certain games like what fighting games where you need to pull off a combo or whatever, but um like I remember the biggest problem with the 360 controller is that it was also rounded. Do you remember that?
The D-pad?
Yeah, the D-pad was rounded. So it was like
Yeah.
yeah, and so whenever like I used like whenever Halo 4 was popular and you had ordinances to drop in, I would press a button, and because I'm not like strictly pressing the down directional button, I'm pressing down left or whatever. It would register as left, and so I'd pick the wrong ordinance, and then blah blah blah. And I'm sure that's happened
So you're
on
not a
multiple
fan of
cases.
that rounded?
No, no, I
Yeah.
like solid, just the colors, or the straight up, down, left, right. Um, And then Adrian, you're the only one with a PlayStation. What are your thoughts on the PS5?
It seems I'm the only one, or I wouldn't say only one, but I think it looks pretty cool. I'm excited for it. The controller looks cool, in my opinion. I like how they really like made the controller and the console look like they belong together. I think that's a nice
Mm-hmm.
design choice. The touchpad, I hope there's more use for it. I mean, yeah, it was neat. Like I think the only game I played that really utilized it was Second Son, one of their launch titles. Um, and then all the developers kind of just left it alone, and it pretty much just became a second like menu button for a lot of games. But yeah, like I definitely like am really excited for like the potential for like the power, and I'm not like too into that. Like, I mean, it's the usual. Like, it's like back and forth. Like the PS4 might or the PS5 might be more powerful, or the Xbox might be more powerful, or this one's going to be more expensive or whatever. And honestly, like I want to get both. So like, it's I'm not really trying to compare them too much, but like I definitely feel this current generation um wasn't as powerful as it was supposed to. I don't know if y'all remember back when they were first coming out. Like man, like the companies were really hyping them up. Like these were going to be crazy powerful, and then I would like obviously they're still really good. Like the games we have, they're crazy. But
I
like,
mean, it was 7 years ago.
oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like I definitely felt like that very slim amount of disappointment of like because like after they came out, like they started saying stuff like, oh, okay, well actually it's not that powerful. It's not actually 60 frames per second, you know. Uh, and so with this one, I don't know. Maybe some of the same stuff will happen, but it's looking pretty cool. All the demos and stuff, they look pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah, they're like, yeah, big boy console, big boy underwear. It takes 10 minutes to load into Destiny 2, and then
Well,
and honestly, it's not that big of a deal. And they can say, oh, powerful console this, powerful console that. I just want to play games with my friends, man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me is the console war still happening. I think it's so ridiculous, man. At this point, come on, like,
Like, who cares?
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I feel like most people have dropped it. Honestly, I don't
PC
care.
Oh,
Master
you
Race.
would
oh
think,
yeah, but
but
I still see it. Yeah, I still see it a lot.
Every once in a while, I'll see it,
Yeah,
and then all the comments are like, if you're still in the console war, you're stupid, and I'm just like, agreed.
yeah,
yeah,
That's all the comments though. So like, people recognize that the war is over, but there's still some revolutionaries, I guess.
yeah.
yeah.
Still some traditionalists.
Traditionalists. Yeah.
Um, yeah. As far as the Xbox Series X goes, I mean, it's definitely not your home entertainment system friendly console, right? It's a box essentially. Like I just got shipped a package and it looks exactly like it, right? So how are you gonna
I'm
fit
gonna
that
mount
in?
mine on my wall.
Like how are you
Like,
gonna?
it'll look like a speaker.
Yeah, basically, right? As far as like digital, I'm hoping the digital version is cheaper because you don't have to pay for a disk drive or whatever. Hopefully it's the case. I mean, if it's not, then whatever. But um, the controller itself looks fine. The games. Okay, let's talk about the games. So I think the only reason to get a PlayStation, in my mind, is just mainly the exclusives, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
There's a
most of
lot of exclusives.
yeah. Whereas
Mhm.
like with Xbox, it's like more so general. Like I remember that was like a big thing that Microsoft tried to push with like the Xbox One. It was like it's a home entertainment system as well, where it's like you can
Yeah.
connect it to your cable box or whatever. And not a lot of people like really did that. I remember like I was getting a haircut around the time it first came out, and the person who was cutting my hair, she was like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting my boyfriend that or whatever. I was like, yeah, you can connect your cable box to it, like as if that's a selling point. So it's just, I mean, it definitely was not the best initial launch, but I mean,
Yeah.
the Xbox Series X definitely looks interesting to say the least. Mostly because Halo Infinite is coming out.
Do we
Do
still
we
like
want
already
to
know
talk
what it is?
about that? Do we really want to talk about that?
I mean, I'm
I mean, I
excited.
feel like, yeah, I feel like that's kind of gonna be in the press conference coming up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So Microsoft's press conference on is going to be on July 23rd, which is 2 days before my birthday. Um, what I mean, so there's Halo Infinite. What else do you think they could even announce? Like, what is there to talk about?
I don't. I don't think that they will.
Talk about Halo or
No, they will. They will talk about Halo. That's what they have to talk about because um, I hope that this is sort of on track of what we're talking about. But a lot of games are in are in this position where their next game has to be a banger, otherwise they're gonna lose everything.
yeah,
yeah.
Like yeah, like the developers of Halo, if they don't pull this off correctly, especially after Halo 5, I think it was Adrian who told me this, where the thing about Halo is that Master Chief is like the main character, and as soon as they handed it off to freaking 343, they took it with Halo 5, and they're like, oh, he's not the main character in this
yeah.
one,
Give it to
and
Locke.
oh
Yeah,
man.
they were like straight up like, "Oh, we didn't know Master Chief was the main character." I'm like, what?
Yeah. So, and I mean, Bungie's in the same position too. Like, I mean, I know there will always be people who go back to playing Destiny, but like, I'm like, and I'm cutting them a little bit of slack, but I'm just saying, like, they've got to do something, otherwise they're going to lose a lot of support.
Yeah.
In my
Especially,
opinion, they lost support with the Taken King.
yeah, and there's a lot of finite details that we could talk about for hours, but
Destiny's just a
um,
bad game, you know.
we can debate that later. Actually, yeah, it's a bad game, but I still
It has its audience.
yeah, it
It
has its
does have its
audience.
audience.
It's
Yeah,
got it,
you're
yeah,
right.
but and I guess another one. I guess I'm not really sure how interested or disinterested people are in this particular game, but I got to be honest, man. Borderlands 3 was kind of a disappointment.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one with the twins?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never finished it.
I mean, you're not missing out on much. It's just like I miss having a reason to play Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no raid bosses or anything like that, no in-game content, or maybe I don't know, maybe looter shooters are just out of date.
Probably.
I don't think they're out of date. I just think they're with a lot of other things like let's say like Rockstar and for example, I think there's just games that they really need to reinvent and come do something new. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like Assassin's Creed already went through that phase where they went into like Origins, and me personally, I think they went the wrong direction. I think what they really need to do was fix the game's problems and just really revamp it and make it what people really want it to be. And they made it a whole new, pretty much a whole new franchise. And a lot of games, I think now, like you were saying, are gonna have to go through that and really figure out how to either put your franchise to rest or like really come out with something new and fresh. Because yeah, like I think a lot of gamers now are getting kind of tired of playing a sequel and then being disappointed by the sequel, and then the next one comes out and it's okay, and then we're back to square one.
Yeah. I think a lot. Okay, so the gaming industry right now, it's all kinds of messed up, right? Because
Oh yeah.
all of 2019 and even 2020, right? It's just been nothing but battle royales, and everyone's like, all right,
Yeah.
let's just stop with the battle royales. Let's find something new. And I think the biggest sort of disruption, if you want to call it, like the thing that made the biggest waves was besides Fortnite would be like what Apex. Um, and I think that's like the best one because it's mostly just a first person shooter, but you're against like what 20 other people or 20 other squads.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I think and then you're right, Aaron. A lot of the developers are in make or break situations. 343, Bungie, Bethesda, um, just
Just like, how did it get here?
yeah.
How did we get to this point?
I think
Yeah.
it's a combination of um, microtransactions, loot boxes, just trying to make a quick buck, right?
Bad leadership, corporations.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Tanner, what are your thoughts on loot boxes?
Loot boxes and microtransactions.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more normalized than it should be.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Shouldn't be at all.
you shouldn't be tolerating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like to me, I think loot boxes and stuff is inherently bad. I mean, you have games like Overwatch where it's whatever. Like people always bring up the argument of, oh, it's all only cosmetics. That's fine, even though like I still don't like the grindiness of it. Getting duplicates and stuff you don't want for characters you don't care for. But like it's just always a slippery slope, man. Like
Mhm.
you put in a little bit and then the next Mortal Kombat, dude. I can't believe we went from 10 and whatever, you still had like skin packs and stuff. But now you can buy time crystals and you can skip fights and do easy fatalities and you can buy those. I'm like, come on, man. Like, oh, I hate it, dude. I I I miss the games. Like Arkham City is a great example of just having your game. You feel like you spent the money worth for that, and then they're like, "Oh, we have like an extra story to tell. You can buy it. That's fine." Or like you can get some extra costumes or whatever the hell. But nowadays it's like they sell you the rest of the game later. And I know this isn't anything new, but like it's still going on. It's still really really
It's a
the word
problem.
escaping me. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Um. Any final thoughts on that on the gaming
I
industry?
mean, I want to bring up Sims 4 because I recently started playing that, and they made the game $5, but they have like
That's what it's worth.
12 different for $20 each, and that's like more than half the game, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah. Same thing with Smash. I just recently bought Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm excited. But then I'm like, look at all those fighters that are locked behind a paywall, and it's just like I'm eventually gonna buy them, right? But it's just like I
Mhm.
can't buy it all in one go. I can't have it all to me like it when I want it. It's like, well, I gotta wait
Just
for
tank your bank account.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's like one of the biggest issues is that mindset. You're like, oh, I want to play these new characters, but I gotta wait and make sure I don't just spend all my money on a couple new fighters. And
yeah,
like I get it to a point. Like they got to animate those characters. There's a lot of work behind the scenes, and I always want to respect the work that goes into it. But at the same time, you really gotta think about like, is is this fair to the consumer?
hmm yeah.
Like man,
That's why I really like Overwatch. Like their loot boxes are not that hard to get. They make them very easy to get. All of their new characters are free. I mean, sure you could
mm,
say whatever about the actual gameplay, the meta, whatever. Because I actually follow Overwatch competitively. I watch the Overwatch League and all that.
yeah,
I pay attention to all the technicalities and all of that as far as the game goes. But if you look at it from just like a casual player's perspective, it's like it's a good game. I mean, you could play. There's so many characters now. There's like what 32, and then they're coming out with
yeah.
Overwatch 2, which is gonna add like basically like a story mode. Um, and that's really exciting. So yeah, I mean that's just basically my whole thing. I think Overwatch is a good, not the best example to lead by, but it definitely a shining beacon in the light.
Mm,
So moving on from all of that, we're gonna be talking about space because Aaron wanted to talk about space. I asked everyone what they wanted to talk about. Aaron
I
said
love
space.
space.
Dude, who doesn't love space?
I mean, space is great. Some would
I've
say it's
never.
scary, but
I think
Oh,
most of it's
that's
pretty
why it's
scary.
so cool. Most of space is scary. Yeah, that's why it's cool.
yeah.
I haven't met a single boy who doesn't like space.
Well, what about girl?
Some girls don't like space, apparently.
Dang.
I know, and that's
We
fine.
need a poll.
We will make a poll. Keep a lookout on our Instagram/Twitter.
We'll do a poll right after the podcast.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, there you
Who
go.
likes space?
Yeah, so let's talk about some space. What's y'all's favorite thing about space?
Hmm.
We'll start with
Elon
you,
Musk.
Jacob.
My.
Start with you, Jacob.
Oh, start with me. Yikes. I would have to say black holes, just because they're so mysterious,
Okay.
and because they're so mysterious, they could lead to wormholes.
Ooh. Okay. How about you, Tanny?
You ever hear that? Like, I heard recent. Well, I don't think it's recent, but I recently heard someone say like inside every black hole is another universe. Did you hear about that, Jacob?
I did, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because like inside that universe, there can be more black holes.
Yeah, it's a
Infinite.
multiverse.
Oh my gosh. Do you think multiverse exists?
There's no reason to not believe it. I mean, it's not hurting anyone.
That's crazy.
What
That's
about you,
wild.
Adrian? What's your favorite thing about space?
I don't know. I'd probably have to just go with the planets themselves. I always thought it was pretty cool. Like when you look at like all the planets in our solar system, like how like different they look, and how one is just a giant thing that gets near it. Like that's pretty crazy. And just how you go from that to like a planet that's just frozen and super cold. Like I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, space is very cold. What about you, Aaron?
My favorite thing about space are these things called magnetars.
Okay.
Oh my god. Here we go.
What?
No.
What? What?
No. Oh, yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Do you have something to say?
Are you an astronaut?
No.
And I do not care what you say.
All right.
Pretty rude.
Uh,
My favorite thing about space are magnetars.
All right. You care to explain?
What are magnetars?
Yeah, explain.
So magnetars are basically these types of stars, and they're they're freaking scary, man. They have this freaking crazy electromagnetic field, and they're dense as hell. Like if you take a thimble and then you fill it with like neutron star substance, it's so dense that a thimble of it weighs 100 million tons. I'm not exaggerating.
That's dense.
That
That
is
is
dense,
pretty
yeah. And
dense.
they spin so fast, or some of them spin so fast. I think the fastest one, it's angular velocity or whatever is like 25 or 24% of the speed of light or something. And I'm just like, oh my god. And I think if you get close enough to one by some miracle, I think your body starts to like dematerialize. It's insane, man. Space is scary.
I was gonna say not as dense as Tanner.
Oh, I'm pretty dense.
oh,
I'm pretty
he just
dense.
I meant
tweeted
like
it.
dense in the head, not heavy. I don't know if
Oh.
that flew over everyone's head, but
Oh, it sounded like it just flew over Tanner's head.
oh,
Calling him
I'm
fat
not
or you calling him
obese.
stupid?
That just
I'm
proves your
calling
point,
I
huh?
called him dumb.
Call me fat and dumb in the same sentence.
Well, I didn't mean it fat. I mean, you're not that fat. You're not fat at all, actually.
Yeah, I'm not a whale. I'd say more like you know, or a walrus.
I mean, personally, I'm a little turned on by Tanner.
All right, next
Thank you.
topic. So Tanner's topic, when asked, is justice for Johnny. Do you want to go into that, Tanner, or no? I'm
Justice, Johnny.
I'm fine skipping it.
specifically Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp.
I don't know much about it,
Oh man.
but I just heard that there's been some domestic abuse allegations against Johnny Depp, and none of them have been proven true. He's denied all of them, and I feel like, oh wow, Johnny Depp, we gotta do something about it because I think Aaron said there's been actually allegations proven against his wife, the one who is arguing that Johnny is abusive.
hmm
Yeah, there was a lot of. Okay, so the story on that is pretty topsy turvy, I guess. Like, yeah, basically Amber Heard was being like really abusive to Johnny Depp, which was awful, considering Johnny Depp's an amazing freaking human being.
hmm
And he was basically the one who was being abused by Amber Heard. There were multiple pieces of evidence that suggested or that proved that it was not the case that Amber Heard was being abusive. And I believe that a couple of months ago they actually had gotten taken to court, and I think all of Amber Heard's assets had gotten seized due to all of that. And basically, she's not doing too good, which is honestly what she deserves. And now I think there's something about Johnny Depp admitted to calling his ex-wife Amber Heard after some kind of poop incident.
Yeah,
So
I heard about that. He,
yeah,
the headline was "Feces in the Bed, Final Straw for Johnny Depp." I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
what is going on?
yeah. All I know is that Johnny Depp's definitely not the one, not the bad guy in
He's
this
not.
story.
He's not your guy, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And good, good for him.
All right. So now we're just gonna move on to a couple of viewer topics and submissions and everything.
Random
Oh,
act Johnny Depp.
I'm sorry, Adrian. Did you have anything to add to the Justice for Johnny topic?
Oh, I mean, I guess y'all pretty much laid it all out, but yeah, I'd agree. It's good that it's going in his favor. She reminds me of Amber. Reminds me of help me out, Aaron. The woman from The Office that used to be with Michael, his boss.
Jill.
Oh, Jan.
Yeah, she like
Oh yeah.
I think of Jan. Um, but yeah, of course, with any of these kind of things, I hope that Johnny is able to recover well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
there's videos all over YouTube of him like dressing up as uh Jack Sparrow and going to like children's hospitals. Cry all the time over that. Just become a mess on a Sunday at 4 p.m. 4 a.m.
All
Just
right.
like
Um. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Uh. Viewer submissions and topics. We asked a couple of our viewers and friends and everything to give us a couple of topics and everything. And Aaron, if you want to take over, go right
yeah,
ahead.
absolutely. So we basically wanted to talk about whatever it is that you guys wanted to hear. So we reached out to a couple of y'all, and we went ahead and selected some topics. So from Lauren.covers, we have the coronavirus, and I know that we obviously touched base on that, but what are you guys' thoughts overall?
It's pretty embarrassing because I look at, you know, on social media, I look at people in other countries, so like, mostly like the Asian area, the Asian like part of the world, and
Continent.
yeah, and they're just fine, like they're living their life now. No, I mean, I'm sure there's fear, but they're allowed to do things, to go out to dinners and all of that stuff. And granted, the U.S. is allowed, but we really shouldn't be allowed because our numbers are only rising.
Oh man.
And it sucks. Um, I don't know if you about you guys. I don't know if you guys want to get into it, but I lost my job because of it back in April,
Oh.
and I haven't been able to go back, mostly because I am around people who are very susceptible to it. Um,
Mm.
they're have underlying health conditions and all that jazz. And so I have to be even more careful. And my work is an essential, not really essential service, but it is something along those lines where it's like, okay, well, we close down. Once we're allowed to open back up, they open back up. And I told my manager, I said, I can't because I have this person I'm living with, and my cousin who
Yeah.
also works at the same job as me. She went back to work, and she told me, she's like, well, it's not really all that worth it, because
No.
they're taking
Yeah.
precautions. Not, I mean, of course, but it's just where I am is a good place right now, and going back to work would definitely not help me.
Yeah.
Uh, what about everyone else? I mean,
I mean, the only way it's really affected me is just not being able to see my friends as often as I would like, or go out and socialize as much as I would like. I mean, I like meeting new people, and I like going out and just kind of being part of the whatever social thing is going on. And I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I've got plenty of things that I can be doing at home and all that. And the only way it's affected my work was I had to take a month off, just for furlough, while they sorted it, like they got together a game plan.
hmm
Um, but I mean, other than that, it's not like my world's been flipped upside down or anything.
yeah.
Hmm.
Tanner, what about you?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear
Yeah.
what you've been doing, Tanner.
Same, pretty much. I haven't been really able to socialize in person as much as I want,
Hmm.
but because personally, I feel like that's a lot more interesting, asking people how they think it originated, because everyone's story is the same with how they're doing. It's like, oh, it's sometimes some people lost their jobs, some people, everyone is just suffering from it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to find people's thoughts on how they think all of this started and how it can be avoided.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, it's been around, like the only reason, so it's the coronavirus in it, as it is, we know it today, is just like another addition to what it is, because it's SARS, right? I don't remember what SARS stands for, but it's SARS CoV-19 or whatever. That's where COVID-19 comes from. And so, like, it's been here before. I wouldn't say at a pandemic level, but it's been here before. It originates from animals, um, and I think the biggest thing is just they just didn't monitor correctly.
Yeah, it's a situation. We're doing our part.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's we can move on to our next topic.
I didn't
So,
get to say my 2 cents.
Well, you didn't speak up.
all right, what do you have to say about it?
Nothing. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, no. I think I have to go like right with Jacob. I think it's pretty sad and embarrassing. It's really crazy because I remember, not that I'm anyone special. I think a lot of people thought, but like remember like back, I don't know, like before the 2020 started, there was like rumblings of the virus, and like everyone was just like, that doesn't sound good. And then then it hits, and everyone's just like, okay, let's not deal with this correctly. Um, and I think here in particular, San Antonio, it's those numbers are getting up. It's man, it's scary because because everyone's like, we want to reopen, we want everything to be fine, but then they don't want to, take the right precautions, and then we just delay it further, and then more people lose jobs, more companies have to stay closed. Uh, Mine in particular, yeah, I had to just stop going because there were just like confirmed cases where I worked, and they didn't tell us. I had to learn from a coworker, and I was like, "All right, yeah, no, I'm sorry." Like I can't do this. It sucks because I was new and I felt bad for even coming in the first place with everything happening. But we were doing pretty okay. Like they were being pretty safe about it. They put like extra like walling around the place. Um, but yeah, that was a deal breaker, and I had to be like, it's not worth it. Yeah, I gotta think about the people that I
Mhm.
live with. And it kind of boggles my mind because like yeah, I still go out, but it's very rare occasion. Not I wouldn't say really rare, but like it's usually towards at night. There's not many people out. I'm not really going into anywhere. Like majority's in the car or if I'm like going on a walk. But there's so many people that are just like, what, screw it, and they go to the beach or still have social calls, and I can't wrap my head around it. I
Mhm.
don't see how I don't understand how people don't see like it's a pandemic, man. like like man, yeah, but I guess that's all I have to say about it.
Aaron, did you want to jump to the next topic or?
Yeah. So next topic submitted by enjoy_ant. There's actually two.
Hmm.
So let me talk about the first one. Jacob,
Okay.
you still play Clash of Clans?
I do not know.
Adrian,
I've never touched it.
Tanini?
Nope.
Okay, well, I used to play Clash of Clans back in the day, moved on to Clash Royale. That's really all there is to say about it. But something a little bit more, let's see, a little bit more. Let's talk about this. The Last of Us Part 2, also submitted by enjoy_and. What do you guys thought? What are y'all's thoughts?
Oh man.
Disaster or
I think
prophesized?
it obviously didn't live up to its hype, right? I mean, The Last of Us was a very good game. It was very emotional. It had very good characters. Um, and the story was nice. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say The Last of Us 2 was garbage. The story was okay. The acting was great. The motivation for every character is valid, I guess, to some degree.
So where they lose it?
I just think it's it. I don't see that's the problem. I don't know where they lost it. I just didn't care. I just didn't care. Like at the very I mean I don't know if everyone's watched or finished it, knows the ending or whatever. You haven't?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not gonna go too much into spoilers, but towards the end, you know, there's there's just like it's at the very end too. I just didn't care. There was no tension for me. There was nothing like the big because obviously how like with every story, you have a, a a journey that builds up to a climax, and it's like the
Mm.
climax was just like it just like kept fumbling itself. Like it was like, no, this isn't it. You think this is it, but it's not it. And then we're gonna continue going, and then oh, here's like a little like 15 minutes of like downtime, where you're doing nothing, and then oh hey, here's the next climax. Oh, this is it. This is the one, and then it's like nope, just kidding. It's not how it's like I at the end of it, I feel like I'm supposed to be feeling something. I'm supposed to be feeling like this like emotion that they want me to feel, but I could not care. I did not care at all.
It's like edging.
Yeah.
God.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, has anyone like watched any gameplay or because that's how I watched a playthrough of it because I don't like I said I don't have a PlayStation.
I
I,
watched Donkey's
I've
video.
been
That's all.
I I've been very because I watched the first one, the first game, and I thought it was really really awesome. And I never actually got my hands on it because like it was so late. I was just like, I'll just wait for the next one to come out. And I was really excited, and seeing the gameplay it looked nice. From what I hear, the gameplay hasn't changed at all. But um, yeah, it's been weird because I'm like wrestling with it, like, should I buy it? Should I just play it for myself? Should I just watch a gameplay walkthrough? Because yeah, it sounds so mixed out there. Like one post, I'll see someone say, "Oh, it's a masterpiece." Then another person says pretty much what you said, or someone will say it's just bad. Uh, so I mean, it, it's just like it happens. Sometimes you put a game out, it doesn't last as it just doesn't quite work out. But this one is just so puzzling to me. I'm so curious, like what's in this game, why it's so
Yeah.
divisive.
Yeah, I can agree just because like I see all the people who are saying, "Oh, the game's bad." Then I see this other group of people making fun of the people who think it's bad, and then the people who think it's bad making fun of the people who think it's good, and I'm just like, "What's the truth?" You know? Like,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
all right.
mean, I just I don't know. It's just something about it. Like there's just too many unlikable characters. Um,
Mm.
and it's just like I don't I it's very okay, and then I can't even get into it without like going like too far into spoilers, and I'm not going to, but I'm just gonna say it's not terrible. It doesn't live up to the first one in my opinion.
It's
Um,
underwhelming.
it's underwhelming. It's unsatisfying. It's like when you try to eat reheated um reheated McDonald's French fries. That's what this game is.
Disgusting.
It's like you can, yeah, sure, you can try. It's not like the worst thing you could ever put in your mouth, but it's definitely not something that you care about.
Okay. All right. Um, Next topic we have submitted from HexGem Artsy. Kanye for President 2020.
Yes, please. I miss the old Kanye.
uh,
Let's not get too
I
political, but what are y'all's basic
hmm,
thoughts?
I remember senior year, I made the joke that I was going to vote for Kanye in 2020.
I
And
see.
then it was, it didn't come, he didn't follow through with it, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I don't have to live with that guilt of my high school peers who I graduated with and I've not talked to since then, thinking that I was actually going to, because it's not a thing, right? Now that
Not
this
yet.
is a thing, I'm not entirely sure if it is in entirely, because like it's people are saying he missed his deadlines or whatever. I'm If it happens to be a real thing, I really don't know what to do. I mean, the candidacy for this upcoming election is far from
Oh, it's
ideal.
garbage.
It's far from ideal.
Mm.
Um, and so it's at a point where I'm just like, well, what's the lesser of like what the I don't know, like lesser of all the evils, right? So uh it's a real conundrum to think about. Tanner, you voting for Kanye?
Yes,
Kanye
sir.
West?
In my opinion, he is the Messiah, and he's got my vote.
Oh my
Jesus.
god.
Adrian,
That's Jesus right there.
That's Jesus.
Adrian, what do you think?
Man, it's a shame because look, I think it's funny, but like you're saying, like I don't even know if Kanye could even like has a chance, but like at the same time, I wouldn't even be surprised. I mean, because yeah, like I don't want to get too like political and all that, but like even just objectively, I think at this point you could say Trump just isn't. He ain't it, and Kanye. I mean, he, aren't they like friends? Him and Trump. So like, I mean, either one you vote for, and with the other candidate, it's just s- slim pickings around these parts. It's it sucks because like you want to do your part, right? Like and go vote, but it's so hard to like really even want to engage because you're like, man, I don't.
for third party, because this is just reminding me of 2016 election. Remember where people were
Yeah,
writing
that's what I did the last election. Is third party.
you couldn't vote last election
Sorry. What do you mean?
or 16.
Did you vote illegally?
No. Remember the
The senator election for Texas. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, is that what that was? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just the biggest idiot here. Yeah, but even that, well, it's still a good example. Even then, like I didn't really know who to vote for, and I guess that's on my part. I wasn't like super educated,
hmm
but even like with something like this, it's hard to connect. It like I think Aaron and I were talking about it the other day with like I think there's a real need for like younger blood,
Yeah.
in the office, and not to say they have to be like really young, but like people who get it, like the people that have been going to office, they don't understand, they don't get it, they don't
Stop putting boomers
understand.
in office.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I will always believe that the best person for office should be the one in office, no matter whatever uh the skin color, the age, whatever, like like it doesn't matter, but like really I think it's just shown that we really need something new, um different mindset, but
This whole thing is just reminding me about whenever 2016 election, um, people were writing freaking Harambe on their ballots.
oh my god.
Yeah, I'm getting same energy here. Okay, we actually have another topic submitted by HexGem Artsy, Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know anything about this game. It
Best
doesn't.
game ever.
It just it.
All
The,
I know is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
it just
Keanu
looks like another
Reeves.
shooter. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Um,
I'm really excited for it.
I wouldn't say I'm excited for it just because I don't know much about it, but I think it does. It's been in development for a long time. It keeps getting delayed,
Mhm.
and I don't know why, but that makes me comfortable. That makes me feel like the developers are actually caring about what they're putting out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just
Mhm.
like, oh, we forgot to put in a microtransaction, whatever, right? But
Uh,
I
well,
believe them, man.
yeah,
I think that it's really good that because they know how much that sucks to be like, oh, it's delayed again, but that's what gives me confidence, is like, okay, we're gonna keep doing it if we don't believe in the final product. Not that they don't believe in it, but like, they want it to be the best it can be.
yeah, I mean, like let's see, like about a month ago, I think that's whenever they announced that it was getting delayed one more time, and there was some people who were like, "Oh man, like come on, like get it together." But there's a lot of people who, like Jacob, understood because the developers, I think, whenever this was in like early stages development, like 7 or 8 years ago, um, their main thing was like, it'll be ready when it's ready. So
Hmm.
again, I mean, like just from looking at it, I don't really see what the big excitement is, but I can respect that still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tanner, what about Keanu Reeves?
I saw him
Mm-hmm.
in the teaser
Impressive.
that feels like a long time ago for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that was like last E3.
Yeah, it was a while
That
ago.
was that was a year ago.
A year ago.
Yep, E3 got canceled this year. It was supposed to be in
Yeah,
June.
a lot of stuff got canceled.
Yeah.
Did you know that Fiesta got canceled and I think something else got canceled that's only been canceled for World War One and World War Two, and now it's been
Olympics.
canceled for Olympics got canceled too?
The Olympic. No.
Damn.
That's the last time the Olympics were canceled were for World War II,
Yeah, but
1940.
I think it's the same for
Something.
Fiesta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the 2020. When's
Sucks,
the
man.
2020 Olympics supposed to be this year?
Yeah.
Oh my
And then
god.
they got postponed until 2021.
I completely forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Tough.
the E3 got
You hate to
canceled.
see it.
Fiesta did get canceled. They said they're gonna try again for April 2021. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, next.
Yes. Next topic. Submitted by Brianna Kianines. We have relationships. So, Tanner, you got a special someone in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on there?
Well, a long time ago, I'd say about 20 years, I was born, and I've always had this special relationship with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Love her.
You love your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my mama.
That's awesome. I
I love you.
love that. Jacob, what do you have to
Uh,
say about this matter?
relationships, they're cool. You
Oh,
know, I think
doesn't have to be a significant other. It
yeah,
can be with
yeah.
your dad.
Yeah, it
If
doesn't have
you're,
to. I mean, relationships, regardless, like objectively speaking, right? Not necessarily with a significant other,
yeah,
but I think that all of them require a lot of effort. You know, um, because I think us being friends for so long, all of PPS really, has taken uh has been like what is it called? It's taken a lot of effort basically. Like we've all had our fights in each individually. I mean, but I mean we all grow over them. We all we all apologize. We all suck it up and we come out stronger friends. That's how I see it. Like if you can get past a fight, then you were strong.
Yeah.
Um yeah, if you come out of a fight and you're just going to be strong and all that kind of stuff. Um that being said, I think it just requires effort on both parties. And if you're not receiving, if you're putting all the effort into a relationship, then I think it's very troubling.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think for me, my like the biggest relationships I valued. Oh, okay. My sister's pretty cool. Uh, but she's more like a friend. I'd say like it's kind of weird because from the people I've talked to, like our relationship is like different. Like we're very like we are best friends. Like, and I hear a lot of other brothers and sisters like hate each other or something. Um, but friendships, man, those are the ones. Like you said, like it does take a lot of effort, and I think what's important too is you can't, not in all cases, but like you have to understand what it is, like individually. Like for example, Jacob and I, I'd say we're pretty good friends, and we actually don't talk all that much, But like, there's also all those years of build up, I guess, in knowing that we're boys. There's not a lot of like maintenance there. But yeah, I think I definitely agree with the fighting. It shouldn't be normal, but if you can work past it, that's a good, strong relationship.
Yeah.
I know that's probably the worst answer of everyone, but it,
Uh,
um,
No. Um.
okay. So I guess we can go ahead and close that out for our viewer submissions and topics and all that stuff. Thank you everybody who submitted something. You can find all of their Instagram and social media information in the description to this video. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and pass it back to you, Jacob.
All right. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it as far as everything goes. We've been going for almost 2 hours, which is crazy. An hour and 40,
My
what,
goodness.
45 minutes, basically.
we were all asking, can we fill an hour?
Yeah, we're like, I mean, if we're like, all right, let's at least shoot for an hour, you know?
Yeah, I was like, let's shoot for 40 minutes at the
Mm-hmm.
very minimum.
Yeah, let's drag it out. How about that? But
Yeah,
yeah, no, we actually, we we got it almost up to 2 hours, which is really good. Um, yeah, and basically, just to recap everything, PPS is would you guys say revitalized?
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
It's very, very close now.
Yeah. I
Just when
think.
you dig, backlog some projects and stuff for release, and then should be back in business.
Yeah. And so we got like at least 2 things: PPS Comics, Panini's with Tanini. It's featuring special guests and all that jazz. I actually have an idea for something. I'm not gonna say anything too much about it right now, but we will see.
I have an idea as well.
All right. So I mean, obviously we have a lot of stuff cooking.
Wow, that's wow.
You can catch us all streaming at twitch.tv/Hella Spaced Out, Tinini Official, Yzma Lee, The Eternal Monolith, Biggie Pino, Eli and Salad are not big streamers, but hey, you know, they're working on another part of the group.
Yeah.
So that's mostly where like all of our content has been coming from. Not coming from, but that's where we've been putting a lot of our content on is Twitch. So feel free to follow us there. Maybe we could even post a stream schedule maybe on our social media, which is at what's our social media, Aaron?
Yeah, our social media on Instagram is Pickle Pop Studios. No spaces, nothing like that. Our Twitter is Pickle Pop Squad. No caps, no spaces, or anything like that. And all of this stuff will be a lot better organized because we actually are working on a website that we'll have pretty soon.
Yeah. And so just like a lot of art from Adrian and Aaron as well. Streams from me and Tanner. And a lot of goofy stuff from Salad, Willie, and Eli.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find all of our social media links and all that stuff in the description below.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, thanks for tuning in for the first Pickle Pop podcast, Pickle Talk. I don't know. Let us know what you guys prefer, or if you guys have an idea for a different name.
We will have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a work in progress. Pickle Pop
Absolutely.
podcast. I like the alliteration at least, but
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
thank you.
Thanks
Yeah.
up for sponsoring.
Wait.
Yeah, I love you guys.
I love you too.
So yeah, that's basically it. I had fun. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to do the next one. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it, and we will see y'all in the next episode.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.